Okay, in this video I'm going to be going over the digestive lab parts for the BIOL-214 lab exam 3. So if you follow along with the digestive lab handout, I'll be going down the list as best as possible here. So starting off with the teeth, I'll be using this model right here. You have the first set of teeth are the incisors. That will be the front teeth right here, and so you have a couple incisors right there. Next one will be the cuspid right here, right next to the incisors. So if these two are the incisors, this is the cuspid teeth right here. Next are the bicuspids. So you got two bicuspids right here, and then next you got the molars, and you have three pairs of molars on one side here. Okay, and so again, incisors, and you got cuspids, bicuspids, and molars. Gingiva is the same as gums, so you think of like gingivitis. That's inflammation of the gums here. Alright, for next, for the salivary glands, you have three sets of salivary glands. This one only shows one, and that would be the submandibular, which means it's right below the mandible, the jawbone here. So here's a submandibular. I will actually pull out another model right here to show you. This is also submandibular right here. Okay, and this one also shows submandibular here. This one also shows the next one, sublingual. This one goes underneath the tongue. So submandibular underneath the jaw, sublingual underneath the tongue. And the last one is a parotid. The parotid is the largest one, and that's what you see right here that takes up the whole cheek. So those are the three salivary glands. Okay, going back to looking at the mouth here, you look at the soft palate. The soft palate actually begins right here and curves downward. Where the soft palate hangs, this is what we call a uvula. Okay, so the uvula is that little hanging thing that when you go ah, okay, so that will be the lower extension of the soft palate. This is hard palate right here. This is all bony right here. But you get onto this soft palate and forms the uvula. Okay. The tongue, as you can see in this one right here, the tongue is a big muscle right there. The esophagus, if you go down, this is the pharynx right here. This is the epiglottis that you learned in the respiratory lab. If you go down the pharynx here, you see a division. This one goes down the larynx. This goes down the respiratory tract here. This pathway down right here is the esophagus. This one runs down to the stomach. So if I showed you that in a different model here. So this is the pharynx right here. Here's the epiglottis. First pathway goes down to larynx, down to trachea, airway. But if I stand here, let's say the epiglottis comes down, blocks this way. If I go down this route, this is the esophagus. It goes all the way down to the stomach. And if I show you best I can at the muscle model guy here, so I'm going to bring up the muscle model guy. Okay, so if I'm holding him up right here, just to orientate yourself here, this is the lungs here. This is the esophagus right here. Here's the trachea that goes to your lungs. The esophagus comes out from behind the trachea and comes out, and the stomach actually connects right there. Let me show you with the stomach. The stomach connects right there. It's like that. So this is the esophagus that leads down to the stomach. Alright, next let's take a look at the stomach parts. So I have a couple different stomach models here, so I'll bring them both out here for you. Okay, so the first aspect I wanted to look at on the stomach are the different regions of the stomach. Alright, so different regions. This is the cardiac region. This is the part that actually connects to the esophagus. Okay, and here's the cardiac region right here. The fundic region is a part of the stomach that curves upward above this cardiac region. So you got the fundic region up here. Here's the fundic region up here. The pyloric region is down here. Okay, where it connects to the small intestine. So here's the pyloric sphincter, or the pyloric region down here. So cardiac, which is called that because it's directly next to the heart. It actually is like directly behind the heart. So a lot of times this is where acid reflux comes up and burns the esophagus. This is why we call it heartburn, not because it has anything to do with the heart, but just because of where it's located. You have the two curvatures of the stomach. You have the greater curve and you have the lesser curve. Okay, so again, a greater curve, lesser curve. Okay. Next, there are three different muscles that are found in the stomach, and that's best seen on this older model right here. And so the first type of muscle is this longitudinal muscle that runs lengthwise. So you see it right here, and you see it right along the greater curvature as well. It's going lengthwise all the way down, all the way down. Next, you have the circular muscle, which runs this way. So think of it like it runs the width of the stomach. And then the last one is the oblique muscles, which kind of runs at an angle. If I actually hold the stomach like this, where it is in the body, you can see how it comes in at an angle. Okay, so again, those are three muscles of the stomach. Rugae are the wrinkles inside the stomach. So if I open up the stomach there, and I open up this stomach right here, you see the wrinkles. So these wrinkles here, the increased surface area of the stomach is rugae. The pyloric sphincter is a part of the stomach that regulates how much food goes into the small intestine. So this is the pyloric sphincter right here. Here's the pyloric sphincter right here. It's in the pyloric region. Okay, that leads us down to the small intestines. Small intestines. I'll show you in a couple of different parts here. I'll focus mostly on this one first, and then I'll have you take a look at the older model as well. Okay, so these different parts of the small intestines here. The first part is the duodenum. The duodenum is actually an individual part right here of the digestive system, and this main curve right here is the duodenum. Okay, so it wraps around this whole structure right here. It's the first part of small intestine. This actually connects to the stomach. So if I actually bring in the stomach like this, it actually connects through the pyloric region right into the duodenum. Okay, the next is the jejunum and the ileum. So looking at here, you have the jejunum, which is more towards the middle part, and then you have the ileum right here, which connects to the large intestines. And then the next one's the hepatopancreatic ampulla. Now going back to the duodenum here, the hepatopancreatic ampulla is the part where the bile ducts and the pancreatic ducts and the hepatic duct all comes in. And if I zoom in a little bit here, it's a little hole right here where it comes in. It's a hepatic pancreatic ampulla right in this little hole right here. See, this is a pancreatic duct, and so this goes right into this little hole right there. Alright, next you have the whole duct system, and to view the duct system here, you have the pancreatic duct right here, which is connected to the whole. This whole thing right here is the pancreas. Okay, and so here's the pancreas right here, and the pancreatic duct. Okay, and this actually leads into the common bile duct, which I will show you that on the liver very shortly here. Okay, the greater omentum, and the greater omentum is actually connective tissue that helps keep all the organs in place here. The greater omentum is seen best on this model right here, because it shows this as a yellow connective tissue area right there. And this type of model here, the greater omentum is seen as just a little yellow tissue area that's on the bottom of the stomach here. So again, the greater omentum is just a connective tissue that kind of keeps the stomach and the intestines all kind of in place where they need to be at. Okay, going down, we got the ileocecal valve. Ileocecal valve is a part where the small intestines goes into the large intestines. So right here is the ileocecal valve right there. On the older model here, you see the ileocecal valve that connects the ileum to the cecum of the large intestines. Hanging off of the cecum is the appendix. So this is the appendix coming off right here. And this model right here, if I turn this around, you see the appendix hanging off of the cecum. Okay, then you have the different components of the large intestines. You have the part that goes up, that's ascending. You have transverse going across. You have a descending, and then you have the sigmoid. Okay, that goes all around here. And actually this connects to the rectum, which is not shown on this model because the rectum is usually found on part of the reproductive structures, but it is seen on this large intestines model of the older model here, where you have the rectum coming down right here. The haustra are these individual sections of the large intestines. One right here, one right here, one right here, one right here, one here. So each individual section is considered a haustra. Okay, next we got the liver. I got a couple liver models to show you. And so I got the older liver model and the newer liver model here. Okay, the first thing here, got the right lobe and the left lobe. So looking at here, this is the right lobe, this is the left lobe. So it's oriented with the right and left of the human body. That's patient's right, patient's left. Okay, so right lobe, left lobe. Then you have the quadrate lobe and the quadrate and the caudate lobe. Okay, and so looking at here, this is the quadrate lobe right here. So it looks like a square. Okay, right here. And then the caudate lobe would extend up over, it kind of wraps around up to the top of the liver right here. Okay, so looking at with the newer one here, again, right lobe, left lobe, quadrate lobe for the square, quadrate lobe, square, and then you have the caudate lobe that kind of wraps itself up around like so. Look at this. You have the hepatic duct on the liver here, and so here's the hepatic duct that's connected to the liver and comes down. So here, so this one's connected to the liver. Then you have the cystic duct that comes in from the cystic duct that comes in from the gallbladder. So right here is a cystic duct, and this right here is a gallbladder. So using this model right here, you got the gallbladder right here, and you got the cystic duct coming in right here, hepatic duct, and all this connects to the pancreatic duct, which goes into the hepatopancreatic ampulla, which comes into contact in the small intestines in the duodenum right here in the hepatopancreatic ampulla, that little hole right there. Okay, so that's a brief summary of all the structures in the digestive system there. So I will make more videos coming up on reproductive systems and the urinary system, so stay tuned for that. If you have any questions, post them on the forums.